Thor versus Ghidorah is a very interesting debate, especially with the current Marvel run that's still going on with Godzilla. Now, to get this out the way, I understand a lot of people have been complaining about the whole Godzilla and Marvel stuff, how it's canon, stuff like that, and try to be disingenuous about it, saying, oh, well, the writer's using Reddit to answer questions. Okay, why can't he do that? If he used Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to do it, what's the difference? He could have used Comic Vine to also do it, but yet here we are still getting these questions that people generally ask him and they're actually getting answered. And even then, he even states he wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff without both companies agreeing to it. And again, having the fact that the classic days of the Godzilla vs. the Avengers run was also canon, still is, by the way, I don't think it should be too much of a problem to actually state that, or for him to state that this is still canon to the 616 comic or the 616 universe. However, he makes it clear they take place during different time zones of 616. So when the Fantastic Four first met Galactus, when Spider-Man first encountered Null, he still makes it clear that, hey, if you guys look at the comics carefully, there are these time zones, as you guys can see here before you, right? Where a lot of these things are happening and why it's taking place at this given point in time. And then he adds on to it. So with that being said here, I will be using classic to 2012 Thor, by the way. I won't be using the God Butcher Godzilla versus Allfather Thor fight because that is strictly while it is 616, that's a GMK Godzilla. Let's be real here. But with that being said, let's talk about it, starting off with Thor. Now, Thor himself, when he first encountered Godzilla, he was not confident in himself at all. Stated that none of his powers or abilities could work, and actually came down to physical strength, something that Thor does also pride himself on. And even then, Thor was also doubting himself, doubt he can even begin to budge Godzilla. Keep in mind, again, we also know that this is still Showa Godzilla, so again, I will be using Showa Ghidorah. And keep in mind, with even the current up-to-date stuff about it, Godzilla managed to just one-tap Thor and leave him in space like that for a good whole issue or two. So yeah, Thor was in space for like a good minute. Then he came down to grab Fin Fang Foom here. Now, with that being said, we also should know that Thor has an incredible amount of hacks and abilities. Weather manipulation, teleportation, portal creation, all right? Time manipulation. He has the God Blast, the Anti-Force, a small piece of the Odin Force within him, even when he was, not the All-Father just yet. He still has the Odin Force and stuff like that. We also know he can enter a state called Warrior Madness, which in all honesty, I feel like he should have been using on Godzilla, which actually would have been a very, very good and interesting thing to see. But again, he has all these powers and abilities. And we also know Thor has defeated countless powerful beings with them. Zerter, Glory, having been able to beat the likes of Mangog, the Demogorge, has beaten Hulk, Hercules, Sentry, Hyperion. You guys name it, likely he's beaten them. And straight up just, either one-shotted or curb stomped a few of them. Hey, I said a few. Don't get uppity in my comment section. But with that being said here, Thor himself does come in with a versatility advantage against Ghidorah, being able to absorb and redirect Ghidorah's energy much stronger than what it was before, being able to cast the winds of 1,000 worlds, winds so strong that they even pushed back Zerter himself, strikes that can easily crack through the strongest armors that his enemies have ever had, being able to fight Skyfather level beings like, again, Zerter, Ymir, and even being able to harm entities like Mangog, who is a being of immeasurable levels of strength. And by the way, if you guys ever looked up the Odin sword, that thing has immeasurable weight. Like, it's almost infinite. So yeah, just kind of a heads up here for you guys. Thor is also much faster than Ghidorah, at least in terms of the raw speed and combat speed department. Well, I guess that means he's faster in general, right? But again, Thor is no slouch, easily faster in light to immeasurable levels of speed, being able to cross the infinite universe, blitz characters like Silver Surfer, and even surprise him with his speed. And by the way, Mjolnir is faster than him. So yeah, Thor's got some pretty good stuff, especially if he's not holding back or if he's not doubting himself here. But again, Thor's greatest advantage in this fight is his versatility. However, let's talk about Ghidorah. Now, Ghidorah himself does have his own Marvel scaling from the time he was in it. And I do hope he returns in the Godzilla Infinity comic as maybe the final battle. I would love to see that, a whole Godzilla versus Ghidorah fight, but it's in Marvel where no one could get in between this fight. But again, keep in mind, Galactus and Silver Surfer were both confident that Ghidorah could take on Earth. And keep in mind, this was before Galactus gave him the power cosmic, but he was confident that Ghidorah could have taken on Earth by himself, mind you. Which is not a bad form of thinking, and this does mean Galactus was confident that Ghidorah could have taken on and likely wiped out a good majority of Earth's heroes during the classic era. And keep in mind, that is a lot. But Ghidorah himself in the Showa era is obviously immensely powerful. He's the strongest monster in the series. Stronger than Godzilla. Stronger than all the Earth Defenders put together. As you can see here, he takes them all on with ease. Even in the novelization, it takes every single one of them just to bring them down. And keep in mind, that is a high difficulty fight. Multiple monsters in the air like Varan and Rodan taking him from above. No diddy. A lot of other monsters like Grounders like King Caesar, Sanda, Goriah, Anguirus, Godzilla, Titanosaurus, Gorosaurus, all being able to fight him on the ground. Baragon as well, my bad, buddy. And Manda, my bad. And Kumanga. You guys get it. Every monster literally had to jump this man in order to win. And it was still a high difficulty fight. So, you have all that. He's confirmed to be the strongest monster in the verse. The strongest rival Godzilla's ever had. Godzilla doesn't even want to fight him in a one-on-one scenario. Because he knows good and well he's going to get whooped out. So Ghidorah comes in physically superior to the same being that I mentioned earlier that was able to make Thor doubt himself in terms of his hexes and his strengths. The same Ghidorah, or the same Godzilla, mind you, that simply one-tapped Thor and sent him into space. Again, I'm just using the information we got here to make a synopsis. So at the end of the day, how would this battle actually go? Well, believe it or not, I don't see Thor winning, especially when it's classic to 2012. If you guys want a King Thor video, let me know down below. But again, I'm using these versions because that's the versions we got pretty much here, right? So, with that being said, Godzilla, or Ghidorah here, would actually do worse to Thor here. He's stronger than Godzilla, to the point where Godzilla needs help from monsters that are relative to him in order to jump him, right? Especially with their various hexes and abilities. And with Godzilla by himself being superior to Earth's heroes, with Galactus and Silver Surfer, both characters who have pretty much encountered these heroes before, being confident that Ghidorah could also take Earth, Thor will put up one heck of a good fight. I don't doubt that at all. But at the end of the day, Ghidorah is just simply too much. But that's going to be all for today, guys. Please comment down below, like, subscribe, or follow, and I'll see you guys later.